y'all. This is She Buys It with Whitney Nicely.
Yay! Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the She Buys It podcast. I'm so excited for this conversation we're going to have. Val is here with us, and she came all the way from a small country very close to Russia for this conversation. No, I'm just kidding. But she's living in Nashville now, and she is from Moldova. So you will hear an accent that is absolutely charming, and she has got a great perspective on real estate because even though she's not investing now, her and her husband have great plans to get into real estate investing in Nashville, which is like Knoxville's big brother, and an absolutely fantastic market to be fixing and flipping, to be doing wholesales, to be doing vacation rentals. It's just a hot market. So she has great perspective on that. And Val works with a gentleman named Bill Allen, who is a lot like me. He does investing, he does coaching, he helps and encourages new people to get started. So she's working on his team with lead generation. So she is fantastic talking to people and going through some objectives, knowing why sellers are selling and when they're selling. Y'all, this is going to be a fantastic conversation. I can't wait to get started. Val, is there anything that I missed in that little intro, or do you want to just say hello before we get started?
That was a good intro. I want to say hi to everyone, and I'm so excited to be here and to let you know what I know and to share my experience with you, and hopefully you will get some gold nuggets out of our conversation today.
I'm sure there will be lots of golden nuggets, so let's jump on into it. What do you do at Bill's company, and what is the name of the company, and kind of tell me how you got started in this, how you even said that's what I want to do, or just start me from the beginning.
Okay. So I moved to the United States about 1.5 years ago. My husband and I won the green card lottery. This is a lottery available to anyone in the world. Small chances of getting it, but we are very, very lucky. So we moved here. We actually moved to Pensacola, Florida, and I started applying to jobs. And I wasn't new to the United States. I went to college here, so I went to high school 1 year as part of different programs. But it was so new coming here, not part of a system, not going to college, nobody taking care of you. You just have to start from the very beginning, find a place to live, find a car, find a job. So it was very, very challenging for us, and we had a 1-year-old toddler when we moved here. So just starting from scratch. But it's been a great opportunity that we know we had to take. So when I was looking for jobs.
Well, I got to tell you that I admire you so much for coming over here and going through all that. I mean, that in itself could be a whole episode on perseverance and patience and just gumption and bravery and just all sorts of amazing stuff. So I think that's fantastic. I never even heard of a green card lottery. Like I don't even know that process, but I'm sure it's difficult. And I also want to applaud you on doing this with your husband and with a baby in tow too, because the team building that has to go on between you and your husband to be able to manage and juggle all of this, like, holy crap, my husband and I can't go through the grocery store together and not, come out somebody mad at somebody for something. But y'all moved countries with a baby in tow and leaned on each other, I'm sure, all the way through that. So that is absolutely fantastic. So
thank you so
right
much.
There. I know you're going to be great fixing flippers, because if you can handle that together, the rest of it's cake.
haven't thought that much far in advance, but yeah, everything that my husband and I put our minds to, we get it. We work great as a team, great team, and good friends. So and yeah. But
my husband and I are just really opinionated, and we just differ. He's great, though. I'm not bashing Jason. He's fine.
He's probably gonna see that. He's gonna see this recording.
He's heard it before. It's okay. Okay, so tell me, you're in Pensacola, and then what happened?
So, and I was applying to jobs. Now I have a degree in finance, so I was applying to banks. I was applying to everything that I thought I would be good at. And I saw this ad from Blackjack Real Estate, and I did not think I would be selected. I was like, I don't know if I should apply. I don't have any experience in real estate. I don't want to waste their time reviewing my application, and I should probably focus on applying somewhere else. But there was something about this ad, the ad that they created, that was so attractive to me, that it spoke to me, you know? So it wasn't, the ad wasn't about the tasks that I would have to do or my responsibilities, but it was geared towards the type of person they're looking for. Are you a go-getter? Do you enjoy doing that? And it could have been to any other job, any other industries, but I felt like that was about me. So I applied. I was like, oh, well, you know, the worst that's going to happen is they're going to say no because I don't have any experience in real estate. But I had the interview a couple of days later with Nate Johnson, our COO, and I absolutely loved the interview. And at that point, I had a couple of offers from different places I applied. So, but the interview I had with Blackjack Real Estate just stood out because he cared not as much about my experience, but about me as a person. And he saw something in me that I didn't think, you know, was there. And he told me later on, he said, I talked to Bill and he said, if this girl is as good as I think she is, she's going to be a manager in 3 months. And that's exactly what happened, right? So he saw that kind of determination and perseverance. And that's the kind of people that we are looking to hire at Blackjack Real Estate. And I loved it because I knew I would be part of a community and part of a team that think alike, that have the same goals and same orientation, and people I can grow with, I can learn from, and also that I can contribute to. And to me, that was the selling point why I chose this company over all the other offers I had. And I have not regretted it 1 second. I loved every single day being here.
I think that's awesome because I think as humans, we have that want to be part of a community and part of a team and part of growth. And we want to know that what we're doing is actually contributing. I mean, you have a degree in financing, you could sit in a cubicle and just crunch numbers, but then you'd be miserable with your life. And it's fun to have a different challenge and to grow and to use the skills that you have, but also develop new skills and know that people are going to appreciate you for growing into different levels and all that. So that sounds like an awesome team to be on.
Love it. And love it every single day. I love it.
More than just real estate is a people business. And when you're helping sellers, when you're helping buyers, when you're working with all these different people, if your team is people oriented, then you'll never run out of clients because they feel that as well. So if you're listening, you're thinking about growing a team, or you're thinking about hiring on a team, make sure that you know your mission and you know your vibe and you know what you're looking for as a person. And they can usually develop the skills they need as long as their whole energy is
exactly
right.
Exactly. And we actually have a philosophy in the company. It's who before what. We have to find the right person, and then the right person, because skills are teachable. You can teach anyone to do a certain part of skills, but you're looking at the right person in the right seat in your company, someone who can put forward new ideas, who can bring something innovative, who can make you grow as a company. You don't want just a robot to complete the tasks. And that's the type of people we're focusing on. And we have 8 players in the company, and it's all based on this philosophy: who before what, right people in the right seats.
I love that, because when I teach women to get their first deal done fast, we focus on the person. We focus on who before what, and we talk about what problem does this person have. It usually has nothing to do with the house. It has nothing to do with the apartments. It has nothing to do with the parcel or anything. It's that they got something going on in their life. And if we can fix that by buying the house, we'll never run out of leads. But it's about the people, the who before the what. I love that.
Yes. Absolutely.
I love that. So tell me a little bit, you're in charge of lead intake. So you talk to sellers, or what are you doing with lead generation, lead intake?
Right. So when I started in the company, I was the person on the phone. And I was taking calls, I was walking them through the script, but then after a while, I didn't need the script as much because I understood the sellers and I knew how to ask the right questions at the right time to get the right information out of them. And in fact, I might recommend a good book here. It's called Never Split the Difference. It's a wonderful, wonderful book about how to ask the right questions and different techniques. You have mirroring and labeling, and so there are a lot of techniques on how to make the prospect talk more and talk towards, to help you get the information that you need out of that. So now that I have 3 people under me in my team in lead intake, all of us have to read that book. So people who work in my department, they have read the book, they use the strategies, and it's a game changer. So yes,
well,
I started.
You said it was a conversation, and I completely agree.
Mm-hmm.
All the scripts in the world aren't going to help you if you can't hear those little things that happen in a conversation. And I think women are the best real estate investors because we naturally know how to push the conversation or how to ask those questions. And I love having a script, but I want you to realize that the script, just like you said, it's just a conversation. It's just guide points. It's just questions to lead the conversation on to figure out what's really going on. It's not word by word. It's just a general flow. There's thousands of words we could use to say the same thing.
Exactly.
And sometimes you're going to say something, I'll say the same thing, but we'll say it totally different. We're getting to the same outcome. So I don't care what you say. It doesn't have to be word for word in my script. There's something more magical about my words than your words. It's just, is the seller ready for this? Are they going to continue with that? Is there something that they said that I should go a different way and then come back to that? Like, that's what makes a beautiful script. You have to create it yourself on every call.
Exactly. Because you can't apply the same script in every situation. Every seller has a different story, different pain points, different motivation, different reason why they're selling it. So you have to connect to them as a person to person, and you have to be empathetic and understand the situation and honestly believe that you can help them. If you think they have a better option by going with a realtor or selling on themselves, they're free to do that. But if you think that you can help them solve their problem, they will listen to you and they will take your advice. And that's what we do. Like, we want to be honest from the first conversation we have with the people on the phone. So
the truth always wins, and then you don't have to remember what you said because it was the truth. I completely agree with that too.
Yes. And also take good notes in your CRM system. That helps.
People can tell when you're trying to sell them on something. If it doesn't work for them and you don't really think it works, then just let them go. There's nothing wrong with it. I would rather you let them go and gave them the right option than you trying to force something. You can't push a rope. And, there's lots of opportunities out there, and God's going to give you another one. If you say no to this one, that's fine. Another one's going to call in another 5 minutes, maybe 5 days sometimes. But something else will come along and it'll be better.
Exactly. And like I said, honesty is the best policy, really. And what I also wanted to say is, we follow up with the sellers all the time, and just to make sure that their situation has changed, even if you're not the best option for them now, but situations and circumstances can change. So follow up with them, keep everyone in a follow-up. And we're very, very serious and take it seriously here at Blackjack Real Estate, and in my team. So, just situations can change. Even if they're not a fit for you now, they might be in about 6 months.
Absolutely. So. Absolutely. No is just not now. Might be 30 minutes from now, might be later this week. But I had a lady that she was in the grocery store and she was talking to her seller. And so you can imagine she's making offers in the produce section and they're talking all the way to the meat department. And the seller says, no. Well, they hang up the phone. But excuse me. By the time she gets back to the cashier to check out, the seller is calling her and saying, okay, yeah, now I understand. Yeah, we can make it happen. And so it can change that quick. Then again, I've had sellers that said, no. And a year and a half later, they called me and said, hey, you still ready to do this deal? No, yeah, but it's different now. Let me check you out again. So absolutely. So when you're talking to the sellers, is there a magic phrase that you're looking for that aha, I can help these people?
There is no magic phrase. It's mostly intuitive, like you understand if you would be a good fit, but you also look for motivation. And we run through the basic questions. If they have an asking price, what is the condition of the home? There are a couple of things we need to have out of every call, and that is the name of the person, the address, of course, the condition of the property, what has been done and what needs to be done, and if there's a mortgage amount, if there's an asking price. But none of this matter as much as the why. Why are they selling it? So there are a couple of ways we ask the why. So let's start with when we ask about the condition of the home. Just want to say this to our listeners here. Don't start with being negative, right? Don't start with saying, what does your house need? Because it kind of makes them believe like, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. My house is in perfect shape, right? They don't want to feel attacked. So instead, we're asking in a very positive way to get the same answer. We say, have you done any updates recently? Anything new, any work, renovations? And they gladly talk about the work they've done around the house. They say, oh yeah, we changed the roof, we put new windows, all that. And then you ask, you say, oh, it sounds like a great house. Does it need anything else at this point? It seems like you've done so much. So you're getting the same information out of the seller, but you don't attack them with the first negative question, like thinking that the house is in bad shape, right? Coming with that assumption. So
I love that, because people have pride, or
yes,
they are embarrassed about this, and you very gently open the door to let them know that you're not going to judge them.
Exactly.
I love that.
And we do say that we buy as is. And, you know, if you don't want to put another dime in the property, we'll take a look at it. If they say the house needs cleaning or I need to do is like, look, we say, we'll just come out, take a look at the walls. We see the repairs. We don't care about the cleaning. We will take care of that if you sell the house to us. You don't have to do anything, right? And we've seen it all. So when you put it that way, you know, that they just feel more open to you, and as long as they don't want to feel judged. And when you say we've seen it all and we don't care about the cleanliness, we just care about the walls, the structure, the roof, you know, the big things. They are just so much more.
Exactly what I say. I think we have the same script. That's beautiful. I love it. So
yeah.
You got to know why, which is really trying to figure out what is their real problem. Are they trying to pay for a college? Are they trying to pay for a wedding? Have they stacked up a bunch of credit card debt and they're trying to get out of debt, and so they're offloading the property? Did they inherit it and they thought it was going to be easy, but it wasn't? Did they get mid-flip and then something happened and they didn't want to finish it? Like, there's lots of things that happen, but it's usually life. And we're all humans trying to be, you know, humans. And things happen. And so if I can get rid of this house real quick and solve these other problems, perfect.
Right. And connect with them. If someone tells you that they're selling because they go through a divorce, I actually know someone, I have a very good friend that's recently going through divorce. And I say, I understand how hard it is, because I know someone who goes through that. And right. Someone wants to sell the house because they are moving, and I moved from Florida to Tennessee. So I know what that's like. Oh, I know it's a nightmare having to pack everything, right? So connect on a human level, and they will just open up and they will tell you more of the situation and why they're selling. So
I also tell the ladies, and you tell me how you handle this, but there's no pressure for anybody on this first call. We're just trying to find out what's going on. A lot of ladies are afraid to talk to sellers on the call because they feel like they need 14 comps and they need to know exactly what the repair estimates are going to be. And they need to already have the taxes pulled, and they need to be looking at a Google view of the house, and they need to have all these things together. And I want to say, y'all, #chill. Talk to that seller and find out what's going on. You don't have any pressure. They don't have any pressure. We're just like on a first date. We're just trying to figure each other out and see what's going on.
Yes, exactly. And we have something that we call advance agreement. Well, not that we call, but we use, right? Advance agreement. When you have the seller on the phone, let them know what to expect out of that conversation with you. So yeah, so we say, hey, if you have about 5 minutes, I would like to get to know your property better. I'll ask a couple of questions. I want to see if we would be a good fit for each other. We know we're not a perfect buyer for everyone, but if we can help you, I would be happy to let you know. And then if we're a good fit, I'll send our rep to meet with you and make you an offer. So they know exactly what to expect.
And that's fantastic because you're showing that you respect their time. If you're
Mm-hmm.
talking to somebody in the grocery store and she's got 3 kids, she's not going to give you very good answers. So you could
Exactly.
say, all right, I'll call you back. It's cool. Or if she says, yeah, this is perfect. And, you know, like I asked you when we got on this call, how long do you have for me? That
Exactly.
way they know what to expect. And it's not just an open-ended conversation forever and ever. Amen.
Exactly. So if you have the advance agreement, if they say, yeah, it's okay, I have 5-10 minutes, and if they know you're going to be asking questions about the house, they are prepared, because you have to give them a reason. Why are you asking all these questions? And that is because you want to determine if you are a good fit. You don't want to waste anyone's time. Their time is valuable. Our time is valuable. The acquisition's time is valuable. So let's just try to see if we would work well together. And you would be surprised just how many people, how openly they talk about their situation when they don't have this pressure and when they don't think that we are the ones ripping them off, or I don't know what, or we're trying to steal the property. Or, you know, so it's like, look, we don't buy every house we look at. You don't have to sell to us. We don't have to buy the house from you. Let's just see. Let's work it out. I mean, you know, so we haven't had a lot of pushbacks with that. It's been working great.
I think that is absolutely perfect. So let's talk about a couple objections that you do get on the phone. Maybe when you ask what the monthly payment is, or when you ask what the mortgage balance is, what does that process look like? Because sometimes people do have a little friction and they have a little pride in that, or they feel like it's private information. So what do you say? I mean, I'm pretty good for people just to kind of flap out whatever they know. And a lot of times people tell me what they owe before I even ask. You know,
True.
if you give that vibe out that you're open, you're going to it like, I can help you, but I got to know the truth, then they just tell you everything. But a lot of people don't believe me until they experience it. So what do you do? How do you handle those objections on the price or the money or the privacy?
Yeah, so we can talk about how we find out the mortgage amount. We can talk about how we find out the asking price, and we can also talk about how we find out the renting, how much they're renting it for. So before we get, you know, into too many details, make sure to keep me back on track. Like, hey, you also mentioned this and that, so so don't forget.
I'll write that down.
Okay, so let's talk about the mortgage amount. This is one of the questions that we're getting most pushbacks on. And understandably so. They feel like it's personal and we shouldn't be meddling in their finances. I completely understand. But the way we ask is, I'm trying to get information about the house. So I ask, when was the house built? And if they say it was built in the 50s, it's like, okay, so it's an older home. Then I ask, has this house been in your family for a while all this time, or did you recently buy it? And they might say, I bought it 10 years ago, or it's been in the family, or yeah, I inherited it, but it's been in the family. So if it's been in the family, then I label it, right? I put a label, like from that book, Never Split the Difference. I assume, and I say, so I guess your house doesn't have any, I guess it sounds like you wouldn't have any mortgage if it's been in the family for so long. Am I right? Right? So I label it because I assume it doesn't have any mortgage. Now, two things can happen. They can either confirm it, yes, that's right, or they'll be like, oh no, there is actually a little bit of balance. There's a balance. And I say, oh, it's probably not too much because you've had it for a while. Say, oh no, it's about 20K or small percentage, or 25% of the house worth. You know, they will give me some kind of reference. So don't start with asking directly, hey, how much do you owe on the property? Again, it's about the pride and it's about how you ask it. So kind of go around it, right? Ask about the house, and you can logically deduct it. If it's been in the family for a while, it's probably free and clear. At least from my experience, most of the houses are like that. Now, if they say they bought it, oh, go ahead.
you're asking kind of warm-up questions, getting them
Exactly.
used to telling you stuff. That way, when you ask a bigger question, they're already in the rhythm of just answering you, and you're kind of training them on how to treat you. We're always training people on how to treat us. And when you ask those warm-up questions, they get in a good rhythm of just answering openly and truthfully. I will say in my experience, usually you're absolutely right. They've got it paid off, or they have a tiny little balance, and this is when, if they pause, they've refinanced it and they owe as much as it's worth or more because they've gotten in some sort of bond or something. So I would say there'd be three answers: totally paid off, a little bit, or now we're going to get into some real stuff.
Exactly. And they might be reluctant to say it at the beginning. That's why I ask about the house. And if they refinanced it, they will actually say, it's like, well, it's actually, you know what? No, it's not free and clear. We recently refinanced. And if I hear recently refinanced, I usually ask like, hey, if we buy the house, we would have to make sure that our offer is good enough so that we cover your mortgage amount and that you have something on top of that as well. Otherwise, if it's not a win-win, we don't do the deal. It has to be a win for us. It has to be a win for you. So how much would you say that you still have on the house? Again, give them a reason. Give them a reason, and they need to know why you're asking about the mortgage amount. And that's exactly why we're asking it, because we want to make sure that our offer is good enough to help them to cover their mortgage, ideally to have them some money on top of that, right? So they can move on.
So that's how you're getting to your purchase price or their sales price, right? That was the second thing you wanted to hit on.
About the asking price. So yes, that is one way I can ask that. So how do you have a price in mind? How much do you need to have for the property in order to have this problem solved, right? The issue that you have, how much you absolutely gotta have in your pocket, right? So they usually give me a price, and then I ask, well, is that what the houses in the area go for? How did you get to this number? And
Perfect.
they tell
Man,
you know?
are good at this.
Thank you.
You are good at this, Val.
I've been doing this for a year and a half. So.
Just a year and a half. You sound like an absolute, like veteran at it. Like that.
Oh, thank you.
I'm going to have to read this book, because if you're getting all these tidbits from this book, that's amazing. You're absolutely beautiful at this.
Thank you.
Those questions are phenomenal. And again, they're still warm-up questions. You're not going in for the kill.
Yes.
You're just chatting.
You're just chatting, and they will tell you all the information you need to know. Now, sometimes they will just say like, just make me an offer. Sometimes they don't want to talk about the mortgage amount, right? They say like, just give me $100,000 and I'll take care of everything, the mortgage and everything. And again, you just got to tell them, look, the reason I'm asking for the mortgage amount is just to make sure that our offer is high enough to cover it. I'm not sure we'll be at 100,000 because I'm not the rep. I'm not the one running the numbers. And our offer stays the same regardless of how much you owe on the property. It's not about us changing the offer in any way. It's just to make sure that we're not wasting your time and that our time is also valuable. So that's why we need that information. So it usually works.
I love
Not
it.
all the time.
Yeah, sometimes people are very people-y, aren't they?
Yeah, but most of the times it works well.
Now, the third thing you wanted to talk about is the rent. How do you find out what they're renting it for?
Right. So before that, a lot of these questions, that you like, a lot of them came from experience. A lot of them came from trial and failure, from people hanging up on you and people cussing you and and telling you they want to talk to the acquisitions and not lead intake, just a lot of these situations. So
has somebody asked you to talk to the man in charge? Because I feel like somebody's asked you that.
I've been very lucky. No, not me.
Gosh,
I guess I've been very lucky.
I've been out talking to sellers and they're like, so is your husband going to come do the negotiation? And I'm going, I thought we were negotiating. What are you talking about? Like, oh, I hate that.
It's 2020 in a first world country, people. So
I had a seller one time tell me, and I'd done like 30 or 40 deals. I mean, I had a lot of things going on. But this dude was friends with my family. He knew my mom and dad. He knew they were investors. And so he and I chatted about real estate all the time. I thought everything was cool until one day he said he was thinking about selling his house. And so I made him 3 offers, just like I would do anybody else. And he said, yeah, that's no problem as long as your mom co-signs with you. And I was like, are we talking about this? Like, what do you mean?
Oh man, you gotta have a thick skin in this business.
I said, I'm not a kid, and I'll buy somebody else's house. Thanks, bud.
Yeah, you gotta have, you gotta have dignity, you gotta have a thick skin, and you gotta be prepared because, maybe people want to control the sale, but you gotta be in control. You gotta be in control on the phone conversation, the negotiation, and, so,
and
yeah.
I probably could have handled that a little bit differently, and maybe I had a little bit of a chip on my shoulder about that just because of who this dude was, and maybe, there's things I could do differently too, but I just chose to walk away from that one and do somebody else's deal. Some people say, well, if my friends and family aren't going to support me, who is? Listen, strangers are going to support you probably more and faster than your friends and family. Mm-hmm. So rock and roll.
I know situations like that. Yep.
Just keep on going through it. So
right. I was telling about the renting, how I asked about the renting price. Okay, so, and like I said, all of this came from trial errors and all that, right? So before that, we used to ask, if this is a rental, how much are you getting in rent? They were like, whoa, that's none of your business. Stay out of this. Why are you asking me that? So now we have warm-up questions. And we ask about, I ask about the size of the house. How many bedrooms and bathrooms does it have? And if they say it's 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, I'm like, okay, I think we might be interested in this house as a rental ourselves. I can see why you're renting it. It's a good size. Has it been renting well? Did you have a lot of vacancies? And again, they like to brag about, it's like, oh, it's been renting well. It's like, I think we might be interested in this as a rental. Do you know if your tenants want to stay? And they'll be like, oh, they absolutely do. They don't know we're selling. Okay, we'll consider that. How much are you getting from them in rent? Because they think that, we will keep the same tenants in the same house. So they are not attacked by this question. How much are you getting from your current tenants right now? And they usually I have never had a situation when they didn't tell me the rent price. It's like, do you know if they want to stay? Because, some investors, they do want rentals with current tenants. They don't want the headache of having to clean and everything. If they have a good deal out of the tenants and they're happy with the rent amount, I think they would be interested in that kind of deal. So, so I asked that information, and that's exactly how I find out how much they're getting in rent from current tenants.
I love it. So you're complimenting them. You're doing a great job. You've got it full. You're doing these things, and you compliment them, and then they feel like, oh, this person understands me. But you have to be truthful about it, and I think you're doing a brilliant job at that, and it comes across really well because they offer what you really want to know.
Yes.
Every single time. Now tell me, how long are you on the phone with these people?
About 10 minutes. 12 minutes. Mm-hmm. We have had very rare situations when the person wants to spend time, like about 30 minutes on the call. If it's not about business, we discourage people talking that long on the phone. If it is, but some people just, they like to talk, they like to tell you about the situation. If you feel like you're getting a lot of good information out of that, you can spend as much time as you can, if it's a good lead. If it's not a good lead, you have to know when to stop and how to value your time, because you could follow up with someone else in this time and set an appointment and get that property under contract. So why waste the time with this particular seller that's not going anywhere, right? So you have to find a balance too.
A lot of times you'll find that especially older sellers are lonely and they want to relive their past and they're not actually going to sell. So you have to start to figure out what is a good lead that's leading me to an appointment and a purchase, and what is somebody that just needs to be checked up on and monitored a little bit.
Yes. And that's why when you have the advance agreement, that's when it's really helpful, because you ask them, do you have about 5-10 minutes? So then after about 10 minutes, you say how you enjoy the conversation and how it's good that you get to talk. But unfortunately, the computer will, the phone will get disconnected in a couple of minutes because we have a limited time. Which it doesn't get disconnected, but it doesn't also hurt the person's feelings, so they understand. And you did give them the advance agreement. They and you can reference that. You can say, hey, unfortunately we can't have unlimited time, and you said you have about 10 minutes and it's gonna cut us, it's gonna disconnect us soon, but I wanted to thank you so much for this discussion. I hope you find the right buyer. And do you mind if I check with you in about 6 months just to check if you still have the house?
You have to control the conversation. And when you set up
Yep.
those advance agreements, that's you controlling it, but you have to bring them back together and control
Yes.
it at the end too, to make sure that they did have a good experience. And, when you call back, they'll answer and they'll know who you are. Or that if they talk to somebody later, they'll say, I chatted with somebody earlier today, you should call them. And then everybody is a lead source. Everybody knows somebody that's trying to get rid of something. And maybe not today.
Oh, good point.
But you want to have that positive experience on both sides, so that if and when they come back or their friends come back, play ball. Let's do this. It's all good.
Good point. And actually, you're bringing up a very good point, because when you have the seller on the phone, even if it's not a good deal for you, you as business owners, you know how much it costs to make that phone ring, right? You have a lead. So you can just be, again, honest with them and say like, I'm sorry, it doesn't work out for us. Now you know what kind of properties and we're looking for. And by the way, do you know anyone who might need our service? Now that you know who we are and what we do. And I have had a couple of people who said, you know what, actually I do. There is this lady who's been trying to sell it and she couldn't, and so she described a perfect situation for us. I got, can you put me in contact with that person? What's the phone number or what's the address? If I just need the phone number or the address or the name and the city, and I can find them. I can find them on white pages. We do that, by the way, a truth finder. So I just need some kind of lead. But if you have the person on the phone, even if it's not a good lead, not a good deal, just don't try to get more out of that as you can. Maybe they know someone who needs our services.
And everybody does. They may need a minute to think about it, but we actually help people by buying houses and apartments and land and all sorts of things. And sometimes the deal doesn't fit our criteria, and sometimes we don't fit theirs, but that's okay. There's still people out there that need us.
Yes, absolutely. And even if the house is in perfect shape, but we had a situation like that when the seller said, you know what, my neighbor, that is the ugliest house in the neighborhood, and it's completely changing the way our neighborhood looks. And I'm not sure if he's selling, but here's his address. Just talk to him. I think he might be for a good price. So we did, so we got in touch with that. But again, there could be different situations when they might know someone who are selling.
Just don't say no and shut the door and slam it and lock it. Leave it open and realize that it may come back later. It's all good.
Yep, true.
Val, you've been fantastic. Tell me, do you have any advice for ladies? Because you've given us so many golden nuggets here. What would you tell the ladies who are trying to get started in real estate?
From my experience, what I'm noticing is that a lot of people think this market is oversaturated. It's not. I think there are a lot of good leads for everyone. I participate a lot of seminars, and I see there's always so many people in the seminars, and all of them make leads. All of them have properties and they have business. So what I want to say is, don't be scared don't think that it's oversaturated. Stand out, be unique, be human, talk to them on the phone. You'd be surprised just how many people don't connect with people on the phone. If that's what you're good at, if you're a people's person, use that to your advantage. Have the advance agreement, let them know exactly what to expect, that you're here to help them if you can, and they will appreciate it. So I would say, go for it. Don't wait, just go for it, do it. I mean,
I love it, because I actually, host and put on those seminars, and everybody brings leads, and it's just amazing how many opportunities are out there, even though there's so many investors and there's so many wholesalers and there's so many people with deep pockets. We all still find all the leads that we're supposed to. You just got to keep going and move through them and close them. And actually, I love what you said, be human and help the other humans. Connect with people. That's the magic formula.
You got to be a shark, but you got to be a human shark. I don't know how to say it, because, so many people are focused on sales that they don't, and the sellers, they feel that. They have to like you as a person. They have to like you as a company. They have to like what you bring to the table, what you have to offer. They can like you, the company, they can like your offer, but if they don't like you as a person, they will probably not buy from you. They're not sell to you. And here's another book that I would recommend is Way of the Wolf. Is if you've seen the movie Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah. Great book. I'm actually listening to it right now, audiobook. And he talks about why people buy, why people would sell, how to get clients. And he talks about they have to like you, they have to like the company, they have to like the offer, the product, right? And if everything else is perfect, but they don't like you, that's not gonna work. So be there. If that's your forte, if that's your strong point, go for it.
I completely agree with you. And we're in a very sharing economy right now. We're sharing rides, we're sharing houses, we're sharing everything. And people want to separate business and personal life. And I feel like that's when you have to share your personal life and be human and let people know that you're being a human too. And everybody wants this connection and this community. And when they can see that you're trying your best, they know that you will try your best with them too. And they love that. So I would tell you, don't try to separate it. Don't try to be the business and the mom. Be the business mom.
Yeah, because everyone else is going through the same struggles. I mean, everybody has struggles. Everybody has issues. No one is perfect. So you got to be relatable.
We talk about the good, bad, and ugly. And sometimes that is going through a struggle, going through a valley. And whether anybody else is in a valley of their own or not, just knowing will help people connect with you as a human. So I love that. You're absolutely right. Beautiful. Man, you were awesome, Val. Thank you so much for being here. How can people get in touch with you if they want to follow up with Blackjack Real Estate or with you, or what you got going on?
I am on Facebook, Valentina Brega. I'm not sure I would be able to reply to. I get a lot of messages and all that. So, but you can follow me there. With Blackjack Real Estate, we have a Facebook page as well, and we also have a podcast with Bill, so I get to talk to other investors, and so I get to share that as well. I'm not really sure what would be the best way to get in touch with me. Maybe we'll have another podcast soon, and I'll be happy to share some more information. And but I guess that would be it.
That's awesome. That's perfect. And I'll say we've got a Facebook group for She Buys It. I'll make sure you're in there. And as you listen to the She Buys It podcast, or you subscribe to She Buys It YouTube channel, check back into the She Buys It Facebook group. We have a page too. But Val will be in there, so y'all can reach out and ask her any questions there if you want to. Thank you so much. Y'all don't forget to go get your free gift that I give every time you join us on the She Buys It podcast. Go to getyourfirstdeal.com and get your free gift from me to you straight to your inbox. And don't forget to subscribe, like us on all the social media stuff, and we will talk to y'all next week. Thanks so much, Val. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.